Hello, everyone. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks, and this is the Granny Rocks Show. And over here is
James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. I'm handling the chat once again tonight. So please chat with us. I'll pass it on to Beth. She'll talk directly to you.
But you can only do that if you're here live, because if you're not here live, then I can't talk back to you live, but I can answer your comments, and I always do. So welcome to our show. James is also the hand warmer tonight. So, yeah. So, tonight I want to talk about a topic that a lot of us are thinking about, even if we don't know we're thinking about it. And it's freedom or safety.
And we have a comment already. Blanquita says, hello, Beth and James. Hello, Blanquita.
Hello, Blanquita. You're able to come early tonight. So happy to see you. So, freedom or safety, a terrible choice to have to make. But tonight I want to talk about it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to talk about. I never am. But, something will come to me. But I think things are a little bit more complicated than they look sometimes. So a lot of us face this in our daily lives. But obviously, with Ukraine on the minds of so many people, that topic comes up a lot. Now, first of all, I want to say that it is perfectly natural, normal, and instinctual to want safety. Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, the bear is in his den hibernating. He just doesn't lie out there in the middle of the forest and say, hey, predators, I'm right here. You can eat me when I'm asleep. So there is an instinct for safety. And sometimes safety comes in numbers, like a bunch of predators that hunt together, right? Coyotes, wolves, lots of predators hunt together. Some lions, I guess, do too. And so even very aggressive, assertive animals also are seeking safety. There is another way of being safe, of course, is what the rabbit will do, right? The rabbit will hide. Cats run up trees. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of forms that it can take when we're looking for safety. And sometimes those forms look like aggression, right?
How does that happen?
Well, because you can only be safe if you make either you hide and you escape from the other guy.
Threat, yeah.
The threat, thank you. The bad guy in your life. Or if you can intimidate or kill or dominate the threat. So it could be either way.
Yeah.
So let's say we have a bully in the schoolroom or in the yard. I'm tough. It's a 10-year-old kid, right? Tough, right? And he's a bully. Or she is a bully. Well, they're just looking for safety in their world because they have learned that being a bully is the way to be safe. Now, have we seen a lot of that in this world?
Quite a lot.
For instance, Vladimir Putin came out of the Russian secret police.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably learned, and who knows, I don't know anything about his childhood or his life. I'm not trying to analyze the man. It's not my job. However, he probably learned that the best way to make yourself safe is by being worse, more powerful, more vicious, more dominating than the other guy. Right? So he says, oh, yeah, the Ukraine is, they're going to gang up on us, so we have to take them over so they don't gang up on us. This is their
And don't forget
excuse.
mind control, where they control people's speech to make sure that they stay in line.
Absolutely. But what I'm talking about
Yeah, coming out of the KGB.
is
right.
that coming out of the KGB, he probably saw and felt and experienced a lot of really scary things
Oh, yeah.
and sees only one way to be safe, which is to dominate everybody. And it looks like we've got...
Oh, yes. And Todd says, hi, Beth and James. Hello, Todd.
Hello, Todd. It's wonderful to see you tonight. So that's what I'm talking about. And then we have our own... Yes.
Another comment. Nancy says, good evening and sends a heart of love.
Hello, good evening, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy.
Welcome to our show where we are talking about freedom or safety. It's a terrible choice. And I'm already talking about how safety, which is a natural instinct, can look very different. It can look like aggression, or it can look like, the mouse hiding, or it can look like, the scary animal that's trying to threaten you. Oh, and look, we have more.
And
people
Tracy
joining.
says hello and sends a heart of love. And also Elizabeth says hi there and sends a heart of love.
Thank you.
Back at you.
I could use that. So sometimes the people who look reckless will do anything, right? I'm going to be like a daredevil or something. Maybe those people are looking for safety on some level, and we just don't know because we don't know them well enough to know how that's safety for them. For instance, let's say you are growing up in what many people call, and not just me, the toxic male culture. That is the male culture that happens to be toxic to men and women. And you've learned the only way to be safe is to make yourself look really tough.
And to have an edge, to be one up.
Yes, exactly. One up. So people do reckless, stupid things, but they're really trying to make themselves look tough.
We have another comment. Richard says, good evening, Beth and James, and sends a warm hello.
Thank
you, Richard.
So some people who look like they don't care about safety, they might be. Maybe there's some deep emotional need they have to prove themselves. Maybe their father, for example, admired tough guys. And you want the protection of your father, so you're going to try to look like that tough guy. I mean, I know this is true because I've seen that about bullies. Young bullies are often the kids that are being beaten up by their parents. And so it's not just that they're trying to vent their aggression and anger and frustration on somebody else, but it is also that they are trying to bond with the pattern of behavior of the person who dominates them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to want to get the approval by like, yeah, I'm the swaggering kind of guy, just like Dad. So and maybe you'll say, oh yeah, chip off the old block, I'm going to protect you. And it looks like we have
we have a comment here. Amy says, hi, Beth and sweet baby James. This is a wonderful topic. Thank you so much. Less than three. It sure can be difficult to see a bully as someone who's actually afraid and trying to feel safe doing what he or she does, rather than just mean out of hatred.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that. And it is important to look a little bit deeper, because when we look deeper, we discover that Every human being needs safety. I don't care how they behave. Now, you say, well, what about the mercenary who goes out? Well, he somehow has learned, mostly men are mercenaries, I think. But I don't know. The world is changing. I could be behind. So he's learned to arm himself and to look tough and keep proving himself over and 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 over, but still needing safety. Why do I say that? Because it's instinct. I believe that that instinct is very, very strong. Hey, I'm not going to say everybody because it's stupid to say everybody, but it may be everybody. I just don't know. So now let's look at the Ukrainians. We say, oh my God, they are choosing freedom over safety. Well, I can respect that, and it isn't that I don't respect what they're doing. On the contrary. However, how safe is it to be dominated by the Russians or any other foreign power who comes in, takes over your country? You know, that's not exactly a safe way to live. So it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to just like go hide? You're going to stick your head in the sand? Now, some people do that. You know, that's their way of dealing with safety. But I know that I feel safer when I'm fighting back than when I'm going like, and then at a certain point, people choose safety. Why do people give in when they're being tortured? I mean, how much of that can you take, you know? And then what do? They rat out their friends. Even if their friend is innocent, they'll say something, give something to the bully, to the torturer. That's why they've discovered that so much of the information that we've gotten through torture is erroneous. People will say anything to make themselves safe. And these are hardened fighters. And, you know, how much pain and suffering can a person tolerate? So what I'm saying is safety comes in different forms. And it's a terrible thing when we have to choose to sell ourselves out to feel safe, or when we have to choose to look aggressive or bullyish in order to feel safe. Now, it's not just the bully. There's the bully's lackey. Frankly, I know some of you have been, you know, great supporters of Donald Trump, but I found him to be a bully myself. Even if you agree with some of his positions, it's like, you know, making himself look big and tough and always being like kind of looking to align himself with power. Mm-hmm. So it looks like he's like, hey, tough guy, tough guy, tough guy. But he is aligning himself with power. And that is a way of getting safety. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I were in a mafia situation, I would try to get out of it. But a lot of people just pretended they went along with everything, or even convinced themselves they went along with everything, because they were aligning themselves with power. So I really want you to think about that, because there are people out there who you say, well, and they're women, some of them, and you say, how come they are taking on this attitude that we normally associate with the toxic male environment? Well, they are aligning themselves with power. Yeah, we are out there too. We are just as hateful as the men. Yeah, we don't like women either. And everybody's a wuss. And, you know, So, oh my God, look at all of that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this over?
We saw that in the insurrection, January the 6th. There were a lot of women that were part of that.
That's right. So, what are they doing? Why do some women go after abusive men? Because they feel weak and they're aligning themselves with power. So they'd rather suffer than be out there by themselves. And sometimes they're just scared to death, right? I'm not saying that that isn't true. So what I'd like you to be doing right now is asking yourself, when do you choose safety and you don't even realize it? When are you aligning yourself with power in order to look powerful yourself? When are you ganging up against the weak guy? When do you join? Let's look at, the football game, right? What the heck are these people doing? These young people are going out there risking their life and limbs and all of that to please dad, right? Or to please the coach. Going along with, yeah, we'll do it, kill, right? Aligning themselves with power.
Same in the military.
That's right.
Even more so.
But the truth is, that is not freedom. That is just going along, looking tough, and being weak. Aligning themselves with protection. How many people were Nazis because they saw Hitler as being powerful? And they said, I'm going to align with him. I don't want to look like, a wuss. Right. I don't want to look like a wuss because then I don't feel safe. So, okay, sweet baby James, you may be the first to answer my question.
Well, of course, throughout my whole life, I sought to align with power. In school, the authorities, got to be in their good graces. And then in my various jobs, had to align with the boss. And if I didn't align with the boss, I would not be safe. And
or the woman that made you feel safe, because it's not always a man, right?
Oh yeah, or the woman who made me feel safe. That's right. So that pattern has been there, and it makes me think that to some degree, we all need safety, but we can want freedom. But when push comes to shove, it tends to go toward the safety.
Yeah.
We like freedom. We want freedom, but how often do we go towards safety when push comes to shove?
Right. Sometimes in ourselves, we want to be free. We want to do things differently. We want to break out, but we are afraid of the responsibility of freedom, and so we stop ourselves in order to feel safe. So we don't break out of mental emotional patterns that are killing us because we feel like we're going to lose our safety.
We have another comment here.
Wonderful.
Elizabeth says, in my previous relationship, I see now I aligned with him because I felt weak and saw him as powerful. Yikes.
Yes! That is a wonderful realization. That is a wonderful, I would rather be with a bully because I think that he or she is going to make me safe in the world. Actually, the bully is not really making me safe either. It's just a big illusion that I'm going to be safe. Oh, it looks like there's more.
And Elizabeth says, I was afraid to be out there.
Yes, you were. And there's another comment there.
Oh, Amy, I'm not sure I want freedom because then I'm just out there all alone.
Well, that is a very good point, Amy. Very good point. And if you see that about yourself, what a wonderful realization that is. However, you may not be out there all by yourself. Just like Elizabeth was saying, I was afraid to be out there. Well, there's other people who also want freedom, who, are going to fight with you. But if you don't see them as powerful, you may not go along with them. You say, no, I like what they're doing, but I don't want to go out there. I don't want to be with them. But you're not alone. And the more people who choose to be conscious, to be free, to free ourselves from these ugly patterns, the more of us, then the more safety there is in this position. For example, let's say this was skitty 8 years ago, and you met someone who was teaching yoga, and you say, yoga, what is that? That's some kind of Indian cult, right? I don't want to do that. That's too different. Nobody in my family does yoga. None of my friends do yoga. Now everybody's doing yoga. Yoga, you hear this, that kind of yoga.
Now it's safe.
Now it's safe to do yoga. It's the same thing that it was before, but now it seems safe because you've got the mass behind you. So you're making a very good point, both of you, which is that when we band together, there is a feeling of safety in being free that we don't have when we're just out there by ourselves. So unless you get your safety from being unusual, because let's say you came from a family that really had high regard for being different, or whatever it is, that's something in you. You may notice that a lot of your behavior has been about being safe because you didn't have the support. And so what do we need to do? We need to get support. I mean, isn't that what the Ukrainians are doing now? They're trying to come together to choose freedom. And how long will they be able to manage that before they start to splinter? When I was in the anti-war movement a million years ago, starting actually in 1963, I started to get into the anti-war movement, and nobody was in that's the Vietnam War, not World War II, and not the Korean War, but the Vietnam War. So it was very scary to go out there by myself. And it was easy to arrest us, and it was easy to isolate us and pick us off. And that's what they did, The government would come in and try to turn us against each other and scare us, and saying, hey, why don't you tell us about your friend so-and-so, and then you'll be safe. The House Un-American Activities Committee, for those of you who know what it is, in the, 40s and 50s?
50s, yeah, late 40s and into the 50s.
Just tell on your friends and you will be safe, right? So splinter people against each other. I found out from my FBI report, which, by the way, my FBI report was so cut up that you couldn't really see anything. But I found out that one of my dear friends was an FBI agent. I couldn't believe it. I mean, how could a friend of mine be an FBI agent ratting on us? Well, it happens because people get separated from one another. They have vulnerabilities like, oh, what's going to happen to your family? What's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to your career? Split us up. So the answer is to unite. and to try to stay united no matter how much we are being tempted to sell ourselves and one another out in order to be safe. Because ultimately, there is no safety in being a sellout. First of all, you hate yourself. Ooh, I feel so crappy. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm afraid, I'm ashamed. And then you rationalize it. Yeah, but our friends aren't that good. They're all smoking pot or something, you know. Or there's something going on that, oh, yeah. Or somebody will tell you, oh, your friend has ratted you out. Oh, looky, we have another guy.
Oh, Samal says hi.
Hello. So, right? You know what I'm saying? So they try to get us scared about each other, like, oh, so-and-so has ratted you out and you're not safe. Now you should come with us, and now you'll be safe. So, oh my God, guys. Do we want to be free? Or do we just want to be safe? Because without freedom, there is no safety.
Because then you're vulnerable.
You are vulnerable to those who are trying to dominate you and everyone. And those of us who stand at times outside are not safe. But those of us who sell out aren't safe either. That is a fact. We think we're safe, but we've only empowered the bully. Right? Go ahead, empower the bully, and see how long it takes, because that before that bully turns on you. So this is the Granny Rock Show, and we do this every Wednesday night. I do commentary and I play the piano at the same time, and that's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And every Thursday night, I play the piano. I actually just play the piano. And that's at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And people come and they relax and they listen and they're stimulated. You know, in a very small way, the piano is an example of that. I am playing the music that comes to me. And I'm not playing music that people necessarily like, but it's music that I like, that expresses me. That is my freedom. But who is safe is the people who are singing the songs that everybody already likes. You know, every rock star who was really successful had to face this issue. Are they going to continue to play the same songs over and over and over and over and over to be safe with their audience? Or are they going to be free and start to expand and dare to offend the people who support them? Another perfect example of safety versus freedom. And as we know, a lot of people have chosen safety. And so they sing the same things over and over and over and over and over, even if they can't stand it themselves. Even if they have to get high to play it one more time, because they don't want to lose their audience, lose their money, lose their support. It's just another form of freedom versus safety. So look at yourself, ask yourself who you are, who you want to be, what kind of choices you have made, and make the choice that makes you feel safe within yourself. Make the choice that makes you respect yourself, because the greatest lack of safety comes from lack of respect for yourself. And that is something they don't teach you in kindergarten or in the 5th grade or in the army or anywhere much in the society, that your safety, my safety, comes from my connection to myself, my inner strength, and hopefully by connecting with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to say tonight.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And we are actually doing that because we connect with people with whom we resonate with, and we're united and
That's
support
right.
one another.
So like this show, love the show, share the show, reach out, create a world where it is safe for me to play the piano as God guides me to play the piano, not as everybody's going to like it. That's where my safety comes from. It comes from the inside of me, and it comes from your support. So thank you for it. Like it, love it, share it. Write your comments.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
We'll
It's been
see
great to have you.
See you next week, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night for Beth Green's Magical Piano Improvisations.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.